All right, guys, welcome back. Honestly, this week I just wanted to hop on here and have a transparent conversation with you guys about where I'm at. So to be completely honest with you guys, this year I had a huge goal, something I've been working towards since I was 15 years old. I made my first 6 figures this year, and that has been a massive accomplishment. And I'm so thankful and so stoked that I was able to hit that huge milestone. But the truth is, I really don't know if I'm going to make 6 figures again next year. I don't even know if I'm going to make $5,000 next month. And the reason that I wanted to get on here and just be transparent with you guys is because I noticed right off the bat, even though I don't have a lot of subs and even though there's not a ton of engagement on my channel, I have had a couple of you guys reach out and ask if I'd be willing to offer some mentoring, if I'd be willing to share my business model, and if I'd be willing to kind of give you guys a rundown of like what a day in the life looks like for me. And while these are all things that I'd be interested in and would love to offer those things and would love to be there and help you guys out along the way, I want to be completely transparent about where I'm at and that I might not be as far as you think that I am. And the same is true for a lot of people who are really successful. From the outside, it might look like they have all their stuff together, and it might look like they're making bands and they have a lot of cool things and cool opportunities coming up and their business is going really well. But it could also be true that they have no idea what their next month or their next year looks like. For a lot of people like myself who are solopreneurs, who are trying to figure out their next step and who are trying to figure out how they're going to be able to build wealth for themselves and be able to obtain financial freedom, a lot of us are really just trying our best to figure out how to get there. And we're doing the best thing that we can along the way, but we don't have an exact plan of how we're going to go from where we're at now to that financial freedom and that generational wealth that we all want. If you're on here and you're watching my YouTube video, and if you're on my channel, it's probably because you're really ambitious and you have these huge goals and dreams. And it's probably because a lot of people don't believe in you and don't believe that you can take that next step, but you know that you can. And you know that you're going to be able to get there, but you don't know how. So you're here on YouTube looking for those answers. And I hope that some of what I say today really can help you get there. That's the whole goal and purpose of my content right now. And I hope that I really can serve you guys in that way. Just know that it is 100% normal to be really uncertain about what the future holds for you. So one of the prices that we need to pay as people who are ambitious and have big goals and dreams, we have to embrace the fact that our paths are uncertain and we don't really know exactly the next step. And just know that that's okay. That's totally normal. And that's how it is for every single person who has a huge goal. When I was 15 years old, I picked up a camera for the first time, a DSLR. It was a Canon T1i. And my homies and I, we were up in the mountains skateboarding, and my cousin, he had this camera. He let me grab it and take a couple pictures with it. And immediately I fell in love with it. As soon as I turned 16, I spent a couple of months saving up for a camera, working my first job at Chick-fil-A. After 7 months, I bought my first camera, and then being inspired by Sam Kolder, like many videographers are, me and my cousins, we would travel everywhere that we could. Obviously, when you're that age, you don't have a huge budget, so we were taking just a lot of road trips to places like Valley of Fire, Las Vegas, Yosemite National Park, Arches National Park. Just a lot of cool places, a lot of national parks that were close to us, and we're based in Utah. So those weren't too far of drives for us. They weren't huge sacrifices. And most of the time we kept our trips under $100. And doing that over and over again and filming everything I could along the way, always having my camera with me, I was making videos, I was publishing them, and I was doing this because I was absolutely in love with it. I wasn't doing it because I was trying to get gigs. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be a film producer one day or a director. I didn't have any huge ambitious goals like that. All I knew was that I didn't want to work a 9-to-5. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur, and what I really loved right now in high school was photo and video. And to be honest with you, from a young age, I really struggled in school. I struggled on my tests. I didn't do very good on homework assignments. I just really struggled to learn the concepts that were being taught in the public school system, because everything that I learn, I want to learn as deeply as I can. And it's really difficult for me to move on to the next subject before I know the previous subject. And so year after year, I kept falling behind because I was focusing on these previous subjects that I wanted to get really good at. I knew that going to college wasn't going to be very easy for me when I didn't have a lot of these basics, when I struggled to even get through high school. So I went and served a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And when I was out on this 2-year mission, all we did was focused on teaching about Jesus Christ. We didn't have a job. We didn't have anything else to do but to teach people about the gospel. So I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do when I got back from my mission. And people would often ask me, dude, are you going to do photo and video? I would almost always reply, I don't think that's very lucrative. I don't think that's going to be the thing that makes me a lot of money. And I wanted to make a lot of money. So photo and video didn't really seem like a route that was really going to pay the bills and was really going to be like a lucrative career. So I didn't really think about it too much until towards the end of my mission. One of the people that I served my mission with was getting married, and she kept emailing me and she was asking me if I could film her wedding. And I told her I don't have any experience in there. I honestly don't even know if I would pay myself to do that. That's really generous for you to ask, but I would just go with someone else. She responded and just kept persisting and asking if I would film her wedding for her. So I got home, I bought the camera, I filmed the wedding for them. And that was the quickest $1,600 I had ever made. And while that's not a ton of money, it was a lot more than I had ever made, especially per hour. So for the next year or 2 years, I really focused on trying to expand my skill and get a lot better at photo and video and trying to build a production company. And that's what I would always say when people would say, I would respond telling them that I was building a production company. But with the constant growth of social media and people only needing these reels and short form content, I didn't really have the need to expand to bigger crews. And people were really starting to like my personal editing style, and I didn't want to outsource that stuff because I wanted to try to make all the money that I could. And in doing so, sacrifice the opportunity to build a team. And so fast forward to now, I've spent all this time thinking that I was building a production company, but in reality, I really just built a job for myself. And that's honestly been a pretty tough pill for me to swallow this last couple of months. Realizing that I built a job for myself and realizing that if I wasn't part of the business, then there would be no business. And that encouraged me to shift my mind and focus on the original dream that I had, which was to build a real business. So really all that to say, what I've really done is I've just created a job for myself where I create high quality branding videos for companies who are trying to connect with their audience on a deeper level. So just a couple of lessons that we can learn from this is control what you can, invest in yourself, and do the hard things right now that will have bigger payoffs in the future. Your biggest breakthroughs are going to be when you're faced with something that's really hard, something you don't want to do. But if you just persist and go through that thing, then you might see a huge breakthrough, and that might be the thing that you need to get to the next level in your business. And not only that, but that's also going to be a roadblock that stops a lot of other people, and they'll turn around where you were able to break through, which will give you an advantage in whatever market you want to be in. Another thing that I'm doing is trying to plan for the worst but hope for the best. And planning for the worst for me is just knowing that there might not be clients to come for the next couple of months. So I need to continue to work with the clients that I have right now to help pay the bills, do good stuff for them, and then focus on building the bigger part of the production company on the side until that outgrows the current business that I'm doing right now. Just know that the only thing that's standing between where you are and where you want to be is not certainty. You don't need to know exactly what you want to do or have all the answers, but it is action. You have to take the next step. And for me, there are still a lot of things that I want to have figured out, but I know that if I keep focusing on figuring those things out, that I'm never going to get it perfect. And in a year or 2 years, I'm still going to be in the same spot. So I'm focusing on just taking the small steps right now. And I already do have a project coming up in a couple of weeks that I'm going to apply my new business model to. And that's going to get me one step closer to building the dream business that I've been wanting to for a long time. Just the last thing that I want to leave with you guys is I know I said that I struggled in school, but that doesn't mean that I don't value education. In fact, education is the most important thing to me, and it's been the only thing that's really got me to where I'm at. So even though I wasn't very effectively educated in the education system, I've been able to learn how to educate myself in a way that works for me. And a powerful quote that has gone along with that I think about often is Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He says, "It is what you don't know that hurts you, and it is what you do know that helps you." So try to learn as much as you can so you're not hurt by the things that you don't know. Taking those small steps along the way has gotten me to achieve some really, really big goals that I've been after for a really long time. And I know the same will be true with you if you just take the next step. The same message in this video, like it has been in almost all my videos until now. Do what you can to just take the next step today, even if you're spending 3 minutes focusing on whatever that next step is. I'll see you guys in the next one.